Hi, I'm Alex, and this is the first of a video tutorial series on game development for Construct. This video is going to demonstrate how to set up a basic scene with some platforming elements and the character physics. This video I'm showing at the moment of the game is like the kind of long-term goal. You can see we've got animations going. So stick with the series if you want to get that far. Okay, let's get into it. So if you've never used Construct before, go to construct.net and you can use their free, I guess what would you call it, their trial. So you launch Construct 3 and use the guided tour, which means basically the free version of their software. You can, just a tip on that as well, if you have your own account, if you sign up with an account, use your email address, then you can get a few more extra features. You basically get a few more events in the events sheet, which is the code for Construct. So I'd recommend you do that before you start. We're going to click New Project, and we're going to call it Platformer to start with. We'll have a viewport size of 800 by 450, and we'll click Create to start with. Now, straight away you can see we've got the blank scene with a grey background, and the viewport is this dotted line you can see here vaguely. We're going to change the size of the scene to start with, so we'll set this, because this is a platformer, we want it to be long horizontally, so we're going to set that to 10,000 and set the height to 450, which is the same height as our viewport. So now when you zoom out, zooming out, by the way, is done with Control and the mouse wheel. Zoom out, you can see it's a nice long scene now with the viewport at the start. Okay, and yep, that's all we need to do there. I'm also, now we're going to add in the sky background. So first thing to do is to right click anywhere in the scene, insert a new object, and we'll go to type background. We'll just add the tiled background. Okay, and click anywhere again. Now in the tiled background editor, we're going to open load images from files. We're going to browse to the sprites folder in the assets package that's included in the link at the bottom of this video. And then we're going to select the background, sky background. And you'll see that that is now takes up the whole space in the tiled background, and we're going to move it in our scene to the top left. Of course it's a bit small at the moment because it hasn't been expanded, so we're going to click this anchor to drag it out, and you'll notice that it tiles vertically at the moment. It's repeating itself. We don't quite want that. What we want is just this blue ocean to carry on to the bottom of our viewport. So we're going to, on the vertical wrap here, we're going to select the clamp to edge. And you'll see now that just the bottom color line, I guess, of the image is now repeated all the way down to the bottom of where we've stretched it. And lastly, we're going to stretch this whole sky background out to the end of our scene. So keep going until we get to the end. There we go. And that gives us some nice space to create a nice long level in the platformer. Okay, next thing on the menu is to add some platforms. So again, just before we move on actually, with the background selected, we want that to truly be in the background of the game, so we're going to set it Z layer, if you will, to -1, so it's behind everything else. So as long as everything is greater than 0, everything else is greater than 0, it's going to be in front of the sky background. So now let's add this tiled, these platform tiles. So this time we're going to search for a tile map. Click again anywhere in the scene, and the default image here is like it's the tile map for a top-down view game. But this just happens to work for a platformer in this case. So we're going to add a load image from file again. We're going to add the in the sprites folder, we're going to go tiles and then terrain all. These assets can be bought from a content creator named Untied Games on itch, and we are going to select just one of these sets of tiles, platform tiles, to start with, right? So we're going to use the rectangular select tool, and because of the size of this top row is not the default kind of pixel size for the map, we're going to leave that out and just select these specific tiles. So we're going to Control C or copy that, and we're going to clear the image now, and then we're going to Control V or paste that. Let's try that again. So we're going to start with selecting just the part we want, which was here, and then like this, copy that, okay, clear the image, and then paste. That's better. Right, let's auto crop the bounding box for this, so all the gridded background will become, now just fit nicely around the tiles, and that's all we need to do there. Again, Control mouse wheel to zoom in and out. So now we're going to the tile map, which is kind of hard to see at the moment, but it is actually an element which covers the whole of the level scene again. So just be aware of that it defines the area where you can place your platform tiles. And I'm going to put that back now. And if you click on the tile map tab down here and zoom in a bit, then of course you can see the tiles that we included. The reason they're clipped at the moment is because we haven't set the size correctly. So if I set this tile width and height to 16, then we see all the tiles we wanted. Not quite all of them, but enough of them. Okay, so let's start by placing some of these square tiles. So you can use the select tool here and select these four parts of the tile, and then use the draw tiles tool to drop them into your scene. Let's just zoom in a little bit like this. Okay, and let's place a bunch of these in the scene just to get some ground underneath the character scene. Oh, if you make a mistake, you can just right click, or you can even actually just overwrite, for example. You can overwrite what's already there. Let's add a few more so there's some space to move, right? And now we'll go back in here and we'll select these ones to make some jumping platforms. So we'll put them like this. Great. Press escape to finish with the tile placement tool. And the only other thing we need to do to the tiles is add some behavior so that the character will actually stay on top of them. So you can add the jump through behavior or the solid behavior. Jump through is like it sounds like. You can jump through those platforms from underneath. And the solid ones means you will have to, as a character, you'll have to jump around or over them to get on top of them. So let's add the jump through and finish with that. And now all we need to do now is add our character into the scene. So this time we're going to add a sprite for the character and click anywhere in the scene, and then we're going to open from the assets package in the sprites folder. We're going to go to the dude folder and open the dude single frame because we don't want to add animations yet. We can do that in a later video. Now zoom in with holding the control and mouse wheel again. Two things we just want to tidy here. One, we'll just auto crop the bounding box so that grid fits nicely around the character. And if we click the collisions or collision polygon tool here, you'll see the collider as the purple line. That's a bit misshapen at the moment. So we're going to set that to the bounding box just to simplify things. And then if we close the animations editor, we see the character in the scene now. Probably we can make him a bit bigger as well. We'll put him on the ground. Let's change his size just a little bit. So set his scale to like say 120%. Okay, so he's a bit bigger. Looks like he fits more naturally. And then The only other thing he needs to be able to be useful is we need to add platform behavior so we can control him with the keyboard. So if we go to the add behavior and add the platform behavior, now he will be controllable with the mouse, with the keyboard, sorry. So let's click play and see how this all goes. So, okay, so we can see that he can jump on stuff, right? He doesn't look particularly dynamic because he's got no animation at the moment, but he can be moved around and he can jump and land on the platform elements, and of course he can fall off the screen because there's no platform underneath him. So just to wrap this up, I'll give a quick discussion of the some of the parameters on the platform behavior. So the max speed is the speed that he will move at when running. Acceleration is how quickly he'll get to that. So yeah, how quickly he moves to his top speed. Deceleration is like the friction on the ground that slows him down when you release the sideways movement keys. And then jump strength is basically affects how high he will jump. You can add a double jump if you want, which means you can jump from the air. Fall speed is like his terminal velocity. And then jump sustain is, that'll affect, so if you tap the up arrow, he'll jump a certain height. But if you hold the up arrow when he jumps, he'll jump higher based on that jump sustain. So you can set that to 200 milliseconds, for example. And we can play with all those parameters to make the game feel a bit more interesting. So see how that's a tap and this is a hold, he jumps higher. Yeah, so that's it. That's a really quick intro to setting up a scene for a platformer game. And in the next tutorial, we'll focus just on the animations for the character and get all of those in. I'll see you guys in the next video.